Hi everyone. Today is Tuesday, February 16th, and it's a beautiful winter's day in the city of Toronto. It is around 11:30, and it's about minus 8.5. That's what it looked like when I left the house. So this is Eglinton Avenue. That's looking east on Eglinton Avenue. And today we are going to walk up to Lawrence. So from Eglinton to Lawrence, and we're going to, I think we're going to weave our way through at least part of the walk, through the park here. Yeah, it's busy. So we're just going to wait for this light to change, and then we're crossing Eglinton. So all this construction that you see on the road to the north, that's all in relation to the new metro line. So the park that we're crossing through is what you can see, the building ahead just straight north. That is the Northern Toronto Memorial Community Centre. So in there is a nice big indoor pool. It's great to do lakes in there. And then there's also an outdoor pool. There are 2 exterior skating rinks. Maybe we'll see people skating today. At least it's not windy. It's a little bit breezy, and there are some flakes, but it's not too bad. Alrighty. So I'm not sure how clear this path will be. It looks like a sidewalk shovel came through here, a little tractor shovel. But once we get into the earthy part of the park, there is no, it's partially paved, but there's also more of a mud path, certainly a mud path in the spring, but sort of a grassy pathway. Sometimes it can be pretty slippery. We'll see how it goes. So also in this park, there's a really nice playground and a wading pool. Big field. There's a baseball diamond, and it's a huge field. So in the summer, you will see a lot of soccer playing going on. So here's one rink, and here is the other rink. one rink that's been cleared. And here's the other. This one is usually where the hockey is played, because you can see the sideboards. And there's also an indoor rink here as well, right here. So the Zamboni comes out here at these two garage doors. It typically dumps the snow right here. And in the summer, of course, that still occurs. And you see many of the dog walkers bring their dogs here, and their dogs love to roll around the snow. It's just such a pleasure to see them enjoying the cool snow on a hot summer's day. The wind seems to be picking up. You probably noticed I am carrying an umbrella. If you haven't noticed, you may be seeing, you can see maybe the bottom part of the umbrella. Last time I did a walk through here, just so happened to be through it was a very snowy day. And the lens got all covered and I wasn't able to see, I didn't notice it. So it was a beautiful walk. Unfortunately, it was all blurred out by the snowflakes. So here's the park that I mentioned. This is the Tommy Flint Playground. It's very busy during the summer, particularly because there is a wading pool, and a wading pool is popular with the little kids. Now that is a clubhouse of some kind. I think it's probably just for staff or league managers. Not sure. And here's the wading pool where you can see that cement cylinder. That's where the wading pool is located. And there's a baseball diamond way down in that far corner. I'm not sure if you can see it. So the path looks pretty good to walk. I'm just switching hands between camera and umbrella. The intent of the umbrellas, maybe I forgot to mention, was to protect the camera lens from getting spotted by the snowflakes. So this pathway, and this whole park is very busy, but the pathway, there are many cyclists and runners and of course pedestrians coming through here at all times throughout the year. The summer, of course, being the busiest, because you'll have parents and team supporters watching their kids play, and there's often like 2 or 3 games going on at any given time over the summer. It's just baseball and soccer, to the best of my knowledge. So I think I'm going to weave my way, as I mentioned, partway up to Lawrence, and then we'll hit Avenue Road and then do Avenue Road till we get to Lawrence. Maybe not. I'm pretty sure that the sidewalks on Avenue Road, which is a much busier street than the side streets, I suspect the sidewalks might be better utilized as far as trampling down the snow. Yeah, it's a bit slippery. Even though I'm walking on the road, it's like feels greasy under my feet. Oh, I better hop up here. Car's turning. We did get a lot of snow last night. So unfortunately I had a lousy sleep. I fell asleep at just after 10. And I'm pretty sure I fell right asleep and then woke up at 1. Woke right up, not groggy, just completely woke up. Checked the time, 1 o'clock. Laid there for about 15 minutes. And I decided, forget this. So I got out of bed. And I turned on the boob tube, which always puts me to sleep. So I slept on the couch from, I guess, around 1:30 or so. And then I woke up at 4. And then I laid there half asleep till 6. When I promptly got up, grabbed the paper, and got the coffee going. And sleep wasn't great. Of course it wouldn't be if, you know, you keep waking up during the night. But I feel fine. Nice way to start the day is with the newspaper and coffee. So this is, I think, yeah, this is the bike route 35. So I often cycle up this bike route going north, and it weaves through many of these side streets. Some lovely homes here. It's a nice neighborhood. I should know the neighborhood name, but I have. It's just slipped my mind. It's south of Lawrence Park. It's between Yonge and Avenue Road, closer to Avenue Road. So definitely west of Yonge. Hopefully I can continue. Oh, here's some sidewalk that's been cleared. So I'm dressed really well, except I don't think I'm wearing the right gloves. I'm wearing gloves versus mitts. I think mitts would have been a better idea. I've got some warm ski mitts. The only thing about wearing mitts and angling the camera is it's sort of impossible for me to do because The mitts are bulky, and the movable objects on the camera are tiny. So it's sometimes impossible for me to do. So changing hands between the umbrella and the camera for some reason makes a difference in keeping my hands a little bit warmer. We're on Roswell Avenue, going north. When I used to be at the Toronto Wildlife Centre, I used to, so the Toronto Wildlife Centre is located at Downsview Park. And from my place to Downsview Park on my bike is an hour's cycle. So I would start my day at 8. So I'd come through this neighborhood, and the sun, of course, is rising in the east, and how it would reflect upon the houses here. I remember it just being so beautiful, so lovely to see the sun just starting to gaze upon the homes here. So when I was at the Toronto Wildlife Centre, for a while there, I looked after the turtle population. That was my sole responsibility at that time, was to care for the turtles. And being summer, of course, there's a lot of baby turtles being born. Landing turtles, snapping turtles, painted turtles, and they're just the cutest things. Just want to build little huts for them, and little houses, and little islands for them in their water bins. I love looking after them. Just loved it. It was so different from the work that I basically built my career on. I worked in the field of human resources for 25 years, and had an opportunity to start a different career. And although I was sad to resign, basically it was sad to leave the people that I worked with. That was the hard part about leaving. But it was the right decision. I planned my departure for about a year, and then I went back to school to learn animal husbandry, and then I started practicum at the Toronto Wildlife Centre. I did everything there from cleaning cages, which, you know what, I really enjoyed, because I knew that once those cages were cleaned, the animals were in a clean, healthy environment. Don't ask me to clean anything to do with humans. Not because I don't like humans, but it's, yeah, no. Particularly, you know, those that you don't know. So I really admire personal support workers who have that level of compassion. I'd like to think that I do. I just don't have the strength, I don't think, to do that type of work. But anyhow, looking after the animals, there's just such a sense of responsibility I feel towards animals, because we are in fact their keepers. We have to make sure that they have a healthy environment to live in. And humans, we have dedicated relatives and support workers and government to care for us as we get sick and as we get older. But the animals, they need us to care for them and ensure their safety. So that's where I felt my best contribution and desire was, to look after those, whether they're four-legged, no legs, feathered friends. I really enjoyed it. So I have been scratched, I have been pooped on, peed on, hissed at, barked at, growled at. I've not been bit, thank goodness. I've looked after snakes and squirrels. The squirrels in the summer, the baby squirrels, a lot of orphan squirrels. So we would have to feed them. We have to weigh them and then feed them a specific diet and a specific amount. And like any baby, they were fussy. Some babies just gobbled up all their nutrients, and other babies were less interested. And I remember feeling a bit stressed when the babies didn't want to eat, because my first thought would be, maybe they're not feeling well. And that is a health issue. So that's when you take your time and you encourage them and you wait them out so that they eat. And then their bowel movements, their elimination process needs to be stimulated. No problem with doing any of that. None of that did I ever consider gross, ever. And the reason why wildlife was at the Toronto Wildlife Centre is because they were injured, orphaned, and they're either injured or orphaned for the most part. So I felt so bad for them. They needed our care. So looking after them, no matter what, I don't care what happened to me or how dirty or mucky I got. I went from wearing high heels to wearing work boots within, a 4-month period. So I left my HR job at the end of May on what would have been my mother's 82nd birthday, and I took the summer off, and then I went back to school in September. And I enjoyed learning everything that I could about our four-legged friends and our feathered friends and so on and so forth. How lucky was I to be able to work with those love bugs. And the thing with working with wildlife is, unlike domestic animals, with wildlife, you do your work quickly, because you don't want them to imprint. You don't want them to be friendly with humans. They're wild animals and they need to be out in the wild. And if they become friendly with humans, they can become well, I hate to use this word, but I wouldn't want them to become a nuisance. And then people become afraid, and then they might need to be destroyed. So the animals might need to be destroyed. So that's what can happen. So again, dealing with the wildlife, whether they're adults or babies, there's no talking, there's no cooing, there's no love bug holes, there's none of that. You feed them, and particularly with the babies, when they're being fed, you cover their eyes so they don't imprint on us. That's the safest way to keep them protected from any harm, and keep them less interested in humans and more interested in being back in the wild. So unlike dealing with domestic animals, which you coo and hold and love and pet, it's quite different. So working with wildlife, there's no conversations. Even talking among other volunteers and staff. Discussion should be at minimum, because you don't want them to become familiar with voices, because when they grow up, or even as if they're already adults, you don't want them to be interested in interacting with humans just because they were interacting with humans in a hospital environment. So the Wildlife Center, of course, did medical care. There was vets on staff, and there were RVTs, the technicians on staff that cared for the sick and injured. And then I went to the Toronto Humane Society, which are all domestic. Cats and dogs and rabbits, gerbils and rats, turtles. And those are the critters you want to coo and cuddle. So when I first started there, I wasn't talking to them. I wasn't interacting with them, because I was so used to dealing with the animals at the Toronto Wildlife Center, where you're not supposed to talk, make eye contact. So anyhow, no one said anything to me, but I soon realized that no, I need to interact with these animals and get them comfortable with humans. Quite the opposite to how I dealt with the animals at the Toronto Wildlife Center. Both experiences were wonderful. And of course, the best experience working in both of those environments were working with the critters. I just felt so honored to be working for those animals. So today is the first day the kids are back in school here in the city of Toronto. I think in other regions, I'm not sure whether North York and maybe some of those other surrounding areas, I'm not sure whether they're all back in school, but today's the first day back for Toronto students. Well, I thought I was going to walk down a side street to get to Avenue Road. But the path winding through to get to Lawrence and Avenue has been pretty good. So I'm just continuing through. And soon coming up to Lawrence Avenue. So we'll walk a bit west on Lawrence Avenue, and we'll conclude this video at Lawrence Avenue and Avenue Road. Now this school right here, this is a private girls' school. This is, it's called Havergal. Yeah, Havergal. I'm not sure what the full name of it is, but Havergal is the, I think, leading name. Maybe Havergal School for Girls or Havergal something or another. It is a bougie private girls' school. Oh, you can see just beyond the skyline there's a new condo being built. That has come up quickly, that condo. So I am going to be walking up Avenue Road a bit further north. Oops. Oh, that was windy. To do a few errands. And then from there, I'm going to go to the dentist. Let me know what your thoughts are on future videos. In the near future, if people are interested, in the near future I will be consider making videos for my subscribers. If you're interested in me dedicating a video from you to a loved one, whether it's a friend or family member. Ooh, I just got knocked right in the face. Oops, there's my umbrella. I don't know if you saw it, but it's inside out. And my glasses just smacked up against my face. Anyway, what I was saying was, if there is a video you would like me to dedicate from you to a loved one, human or feathered friend or four-legged family member, just let me know. And I will certainly consider doing that for you. Sometimes people that we love, or even ourselves, if we can't get out, but enjoy walking around our city or seeing walks around our city. Sometimes that's just the right thing that somebody needs. They can't get out of the house for whatever reason. Or even if you want to dedicate a video to yourself, because you deserve loving too. We all do. Especially during these times when some of us are maybe living alone even if you're not. Self-love's important too. So let me know what your thoughts are on that. And here we are at Avenue Road and Lawrence Avenue. This concludes our video. Thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you have a great day. And don't forget to subscribe and smash that like button. And I will see you in my next video. Boomer Girl signing off.